what we're gonna go through is our job search strategy. We have already created a profile. We have already created a pitch. We have already optimized a few portfolios or resumes. And we're gonna take all those great things that we have created that have built now authority on our job search for our job search and make ourselves seem great for employers. Again, perception is reality. And we're going to be doing the job search strategy. We're going to go over a few job boards. We're going to go over applying a few job boards specifically and things like that. So this is where it's the exciting part because it's right before the interview process. So job search strategy. This is fire job search strategy. The goal here is that ultimately what you want is to really be perceived as that individual and actually get the attention of employers by going through different routes. You can go direct to employer, you can go to direct to recruiter, and also direct to the job board. And the job boards will help you a lot. On job boards, we're talking here LinkedIn, for example, Indeed, or our Remote Latinos platform, for example, and many other more. So there is more job boards out there that you can actually apply. But so we're gonna go over a few ones, okay? So guys, the strategy is very simple. I'm gonna take here my computer and we're gonna go over this. And let's go over this. So the strategy of job search strategy, okay? So what's the first thing that we're gonna do? Okay, let's go over this. So what's happening, guys? First of all, you got to understand a few things. You have to set up your job search goals, and you have to know what we're looking for. So if you're looking for a role as an appointment setter, for example, and you see an opportunity that there's a setter type of role, someone that prospects, someone that books appointments, a lot of businesses actually need that type of help. That's going to be part of your job search strategy. And that could be appointment setter roles, lead manager roles in real estate, for example, appointment setter for agencies, right? Or follow-up specialists, inside sales agents. So you want to know that you want to find those type of jobs in the job boards, okay? Or if, let's say, for example, graphic designer, content, social media coordinator, let's say video editor, you know that you have a goal. What is your goal? And depending on the goal, you're going to be applying to those jobs based on that goal. You don't want to apply with the same resume over and over to different jobs because people are not going to, or the same video to different jobs because people are not going to really look at it because you have to be targeted. Okay. The first thing about knowing what job you're going to apply is like, what's your target audience? What type of job you're going to target? And don't start applying to everything and anything because this is not going to be seen well by employers, especially if they have different type of jobs or different type of roles. Make sure that you do one by one. And if one doesn't work out, then you try to the next one. But try to like niche down or like consolidate what is that specific role that you want to really master and get a job on. Okay. So first you got to know what type of jobs are in there. So what type of jobs are out there? Let's take a look at the type of jobs that, for example, we offer, okay? And I'm gonna walk you through our area. So latinosremotos.com. So on Latinos Remotos, for example, we have the jobs, find a job here. In Latinos Remotos, we usually have the type of roles that we employ the most, which is, virtual assistant, you do admin stuff, media buyer, graphic designer or content coordinator, appointment setter, go high level in process, automation specialist, sales agents, etc. But we also have more. Trust me, we have way more than this. What's a media buyer? Someone that ultimately just does Google advertising or trafficking in Google, trafficking on Facebook ads, so Facebook advertising, TikTok advertising, YouTube advertising, right? And agencies need this a lot. and if you have a kick-ass strategy, you have a kick-ass way of doing it, you manage it really well, they're gonna love it. Okay. If you're creative, agencies love this. Same thing for real estate investing businesses or other brick and mortar businesses and so on. Again, we talked about having a fire portfolio. Appointment setter, businesses need appointments, they need leads, whether that's from outbound marketing that you do, whether that's cold calling, or leads that are coming in from, or all these inbound marketing channels, such as, hey, Facebook ads, Google ads, website generation, different type of tactics that are inbound, and you'll be an appointment setter to help them book appointments with the leads that are coming in, usually from social media marketing, Google ads, PPC, Facebook, YouTube, website, SEO, all of that, right? Go high level and process automation. So there's a huge demand on go high level CRM automators. So if you're great in automating things, creating things, for example, with Zapier, with make.com, you're a systems engineer, you do great at like all this technical stuff that creates workflows that, for example, let's say a lead comes in, the next step is like sending an email. So let's say, for example, the lead comes in, the next step is like sending an email, text message, sending a notification, doing a task, or doing different things, right? That's an automator. Like you would create a workflow inside of a go high level system, for example, which is a CRM or like HubSpot, things like that. And you would create a workflow, and that automatically qualifies you to have the skill of a systems or automation specialist for that role. If you have way more complex ways to show your work, that's the way it is. Same thing for sales agent and setter, for example. So a sales agent could be an acquisition specialist, a closer, someone that closes deals. So if you're great at sales, this is what companies would pay the most for. If you're great at sales, you're gonna get paid the most. I'm gonna tell you around, like, for example, virtual assistant, depending on what you do, if you're doing only admin stuff, you can start from like $4 or $5 an hour. If you're like, starting out, to like $5, $6, $7 an hour. If you're doing admin stuff and doing various different like virtual assistant stuff. But there is another role called the executive assistant. That's where you're actually helping CEOs and like executives and people that are high level at, basically you're a time consultant, and you're helping them out. Now, the details and all of that stuff, we're going to be posting in our website, like what type of roles there are, but that's basically about it. So I'm going to show you an example here with Try Remote Latinos right here. So tryremotelatinos.com, right? That's the website that we have where we have our job board. There's different roles in here as well, and then you can actually see there's different other websites that we're going to go for. I'm going to show you a strategy, but and different platforms where it's a job board. This would get paid if you're an executive assistant. A good executive assistant can get paid easily $1,000 to $1,500 a month. If you're a good media buyer, can easily start at like $800 to $1,500 a month, even more. There's people that pay way more for a good media buyer. Again, Google, Facebook ads, YouTube ads, all of that stuff. If you do graphic designer and content coordinator, you can start at like $800 a month, all the way to like $2,000 a month. People love that stuff. People need that stuff, especially agencies or like higher level companies that already have a team, right? They know that you can create graphics, you can create video content and edit that video content. Or if you're coordinating social media for them and the content for them, this is what's going to make their business better, right? And that's going to give you a good allocation. Again, this is just starting, guys. Like, there is opportunity to make money out of, for example, commissions, retention bonuses, and so on. So media buyers, they get retention bonuses all the time, and so on. Executive assistants also get bonuses, and so on. And content coordinators and or like graphic designers, video editors, they get bonuses based on, like, let's say you made my video viral and things like that, right? Appointment setter. So appointment setter is highly valuable for a lot of businesses. I would say all small businesses, medium-sized businesses, and large businesses, they need appointment setters. They're also called sales direct reps. These people are taking an inbound lead and booking an appointment for the closer, but actually doing a sales process like a true discovery where you do active listening and everything. An appointment setter also could also take care of leads that are outbound. So you could be a cold outbound appointment setter. So more of a cold caller. You would cold call a list for people and you would book appointments for them. And people are willing to pay $5, $6 an hour to start, plus commissions, plus bonuses. A good commission is about 3% off the deal. Some people, they do $50 of the deal, $100 of the deal, $150 of the deal when the deal is closed. And you will have a base. The base usually $5, $6 an hour, or a little bit more sometimes, like $7 an hour. They can give you a base, but you gotta know that because this is sales oriented, it's also commissions oriented. So the more that you help the business close deals, the more money you're gonna make, right? And that's what they want to incentivize. So it has like a very, like the cap of it, it's almost unlimited if you help the business close deals. Go high level and process automation specialist. So because it's hard to find a really good one, people are willing to pay good money for it. From $1,000 to $2,000 to start. Trust me, people are willing to pay good money for it. So make sure they earn those skill sets. Okay, there is always courses out there in the Go High Level community or Go High Level Job Network, and even our Remote Fam Facebook group for you to actually learn from. Sales agents and setter. This is an acquisition specialist, so our acquisition managers, just, and closers. They will close the deals, and commissions could be 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%, depending on the company, depending on what the ticket size is. Sometimes you're closing deals that are $3,000. Sometimes you're closing deals that are $5,000. Sometimes you're closing deals that are $10,000, $20,000. So the commission varies, and a lot of businesses actually do commission only, right? And you want to see like, okay, what role actually suits me. Now, there is definitely more type of roles in here. Like, for example, like we have website designer, senior web developer that we find sometimes, people that need SEO, people that need websites, people that need all this kind of stuff. And we 100% help them, right? As you can see here, an administrative assistant and so on. And in there's different categories of like departments in business, like sales, admin, marketing, creative, dispositions, transactions in the real estate business. And in the agency business, usually is lead generation, which is marketing, sales, fulfillment for client, client success, account management, media buying, or is part of fulfillment, operations, system specialist, and so on. So it's good that you really need to understand which one is best for you. Okay, we're gonna go now and talk about the build an irresistible resume. Let's make sure how we're gonna take that resume, your LinkedIn profile, and then leverage job search platforms. Can't wait for this one.